By now, most of those who review my videos and view my channel and my Facebook page know I only put videos up when I've run out of patience, I've run out of being nice, and I'm sick and tired of being abused, lied to, cheated, or generally fucked over. You've all seen the videos of what I've had to put up with, which is I keep fighting with the government to pay me the money it owes me. I keep fighting with the government to house me. I keep fighting with the government and getting absolutely nowhere because I'm doing this all by myself. I have been through now 3,694 lawyers, and they all make excuses, although I'm waiting for number 94 to see what he has to say. In the meantime, I keep putting up with being abused, insulted, treated like shit, victimized, and fucked over. By the Crown, by the SPCA, even by the police. You've all seen the videos of what I've had to put up with. And the latest one is, her name is Charmaine, and her surname is wolmarans. She runs Pixes Animal Rescue. They're the ones who stole my animals this time. They stole them out of my car. I was at my friend's place. I had got there at 9 in the morning, which is the aircon's on in the car all the time because of the things, and the windows are always down. Everybody's got food and water at all times when they're in the car. And I say the words when they're in the car because we're not always in the car, because we make sure that nobody can fucking steal anybody when I'm staying at certain places to keep them safe. I've got them because, again, the animals that I had, nobody wanted them. They were rescue animals. Nobody gave a fucking rat's ass about them except for me. I took them in. I feed them. I care for them. I love them. And that is the reason why I put up with some of the shit that I put up with and do with the things, because I love my animals. Anybody who knows me knows I love my animals. Anybody who knows me knows that most of the animals I get are because nobody else wanted them. Nobody else cared, and they were generally dumped, left behind, or they were sick and they couldn't afford to look after them, so I took them in. And that's where the argument has come with the SPCA over the years. Because somebody has seen the animals being fucking busybodies, instead of asking me, have assumed shit. The SPCA show up, lie through their fucking teeth, snatch my pets, take off with them, lie under oath, judge knows they're lying under oath, and still fines for them, which is where we've got the arguments, and which is why it's taken me 4 years to get stuff into court to try and get it appealed so I can actually get my stuff heard. But in the meantime, though, as I said, I've taken in the ones that have been sick, unwanted, nobody cares about. And they always come and steal them and then say, I'm not looking after them. I'm like, excuse me, but you should have seen it when I first got it because it looked like shit. And the ones that I have, when I've got them, and they're healthy and they're taken care of, which is the ones I've got at the moment, although the peacocks were being a bit awkward about eking. And everybody is fed and cared for and looked after and loved. And that's the ultimate word, loved. Now, I got at my friend's place at 9 a.m. on the Saturday when they stole them. I went up again at 10:30, check on everybody, turn the aircon on because it was starting to get warm, put water and food in the dishes because I know what they're like. They knock their food over all the place, and I don't bother cleaning up until the end of the day or when I've got 5 minutes spare because I'm always going looking for houses. They were okay at 10:30. I then went back up again at 12:30, again, same routine, water, food, etc. Went up again at 2:30, and same routine, food, water, and then turned the aircon on for about 15 minutes because it was starting to get quite hot, though it became overcast and cloudy. And that was at 2:30 in the afternoon. I got delayed for coming back at about 4 and came back a little bit later after 4 to find the police had stuck a sticker on my car and they'd stolen my animals, and they had been taken by Pixes Animal Rescue this time. So I got the details on that and managed to track them down. Found out that Pixes Animal Rescue is owned by Charmaine. And on the 30th of November, Julie had put up a post about me doing the stuff I do because I was upset because I'd lost yet another house. And at the time period, I had 3 others I was waiting to hear back from. And I was so upset because I'd lost the house because, again, it was straining me. It was straining the situation, trying to get everything done and fighting with the Crown to get my money so I could get a fucking house. And Charmaine had posted about, oh, did I need blankets? Did I need help? She could look after my animals and stuff. And because I never took her up on her offer because I didn't get the time. Because, again, looking for houses. And kept looking for houses. And kept getting rejected because, again, oh, you've got pets. Or, oh, it's just you. Oh, excuse upon excuse upon excuse, including down to ones where, because I'm dealing with winds, the people won't rent to me because they don't want to deal with winds. I had, when I back counted after this, because of all this, I had over 52 places say that to me because they don't want to deal with winds. I had 492 turn around and say to me, because I'm a single person, they would rather rent to a family. I had 2,600 turn around and change their mind over pets. Whether it's they didn't like cats or they didn't like birds, which were outside. It didn't matter. They didn't want pets. And then in general, the rest of them were turning around and saying, because I'm single and I'm on an invalid benefit, they weren't going to rent to me. So here's my dilemma of fighting backwards and forwards. You all know I've been doing this, and you all know I've been up and down for over a year. So this woman has my pets. I explain this to her. I explain what's going on. And she says, I'll look after them until you can get a house. I'm like, thank you. Because, again, I've got things going on where I'm fighting with the courts because we've got the Court of Appeal stuff going on and everything else. And so this is what she told me the Saturday, and the Sunday I couldn't go because I had things I had to do on the Sunday. So on Monday I go and see my pets. The chickens are putting weight on, which is good. The peacocks are stressed out and freaking out, still, which is why I asked her if she could put the chickens back in with the peacocks because it calms Eric the peacock down. She said she'd do that. She did not, of course. I found that out later. But in the meantime, I went to see my cats, and they were freaking out, and they were scared to hell. So I sat with them for 2 hours and calmed them down. And while I was there, I was reading all the information on what was up on the board, and it said they hadn't been eating. And I'm like, I can tell that because one, the food is just sitting in, and it's the wrong food for them. So I left them food for them, which is the food they will eat. And I said to them about what they're like and what they require and everything else, because again, because they're rescue cats and the way they're behaving it. And the lady that was there I was talking to said to me, that's the first time we've seen them. They'd had them since Saturday, and when they let them out of the carrier, they disappeared and hid, and they hadn't seen any sign of the pair of them until I came on Monday. So I managed to calm them down, got them relaxed, and got them to sort of look at the food and etc. And generally ease their stress and strain. And told them I'd come back in 2 nights' time because I had to go look at houses. And so the 2 nights' time came, and I came back on the Thursday because I'd still been looking at houses, trying to find a home for them. They weren't as stressed, but they still weren't really eating. They were very upset, but the lady says, we get to see them now. They come out a little bit now. And I'm like, that's fine. But they had started losing weight, and they had the skin hanging underneath their stomachs and everything else, and they were just stressing quite a bit, which is, I can understand that, but they still were not really eating. So I'd taken a comfort item for them, which is my robe that they love to death. And we were moved to another section because she's got cat flu running through the place. This is Thursday. And I spent, again, a couple more hours with them, and had to go because I was getting sore, and I needed to go and do some stuff as well. So I left them in the late afternoon. Going to go see them Friday. And I texted her to say I'm going to go see the birds first and feed them and everything else because I had stuff for them, and then going to go see the cats. I go see the birds, and she still didn't put the chickens in with Eric. In fact, she never did, from what I can gather from those photos as well, shows that. And but Eric and Matilda had calmed down a little bit, and I gave them some extra treats for food because I gave them the stale cat biscuits, which are the spell, which they love, and they got extra things which were these cheesy things and stuff that I know that they like, along with a few other bits and pieces. And I gave it to my chickens as well. They're all fine. They're calm. They're relaxed now. They're eating, which is fine. All right. And I had got a text message from her saying, you can't go on the Friday, which is when I was seeing the birds, because there's a film crew there, but I'll let you know when they're finished. I'm like, okay. And end up staying at her place for a little while and playing with her girls and talking and doing different things and helping her out with a couple of things because she got a couple of escaped kittens and help catch them and put them back. And then I was sitting with the girls, and I ended up choking because someone was spraying up there, and I got really sick, which is why my face was the way it was, and it's still healing, and I've got proof of that as well. And I'm like, well, I've got to go because I can't stay up there anymore because it was making me sick. So I left. And then I said to her on Saturday, can I go see them Saturday? Or is it in lockdown because of the cat flu? Because now it had got more prevalent. And she goes, it's on lockdown and you can't really see them. And I said to her, okay. I said, but are they eating? Have they started eating properly yet? And she goes, oh, yeah, they're eating, I'm mixing their food for them, and I'm doing it for them, I'm giving them all the antibiotic stuff and everything else. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I said, okay, that's fine. I said, good, because I was worried because they weren't eating and they're losing weight. And her response, instead of going, oh, no, I'll check their weight, or, yeah, they're fine, and again, assuring me that they're fine and they're okay, was to write the abusive post that I've put up on my Facebook page, and I've put it out to other people to read so they can read it, where she abuses me and turns around and says that I'm making allegations and I'm complaining. I'm not complaining, I'm not making allegations, I'm concerned about my fucking pets! And then she threatened to give them to the SPCA. So, she's keeping threatening to give them the SPCA. She did that for 2 days, which is why people I know, I asked them, please talk to her to find out what the hell's going on. And they sort of talked to her because I got 2 responses from different people. And one person said that she said she's going to keep them and she'll look after them until I get a house, which is what she told me. And then I get a post from her on the messenger saying she's going to dump them over at the SPCA. So she's going to dump them in the SPCA. They're now going to turn up at the SPCA underweight and sick. And I have her to thank for it. And then I'm going to get abused again. But this time, I'm going to sue her.